Hey everyone, and welcome to Shoot the Shit Saturday, your favorite podcast that happens every 3rd to 16th Saturday. What's up? It's me, Nickolas Zombie, joined today by Espionage DB7.
Settle down.
Ring the leader.
Settle up.
There he is. And I should have got this before. Do we refer to you by a screen name or what? Introduce yourself.
Hi everybody, I'm Jess.
Our guest podcaster.
There we go. It's Jess. All right, and welcome. Here we are, podcast. It's been a minute.
It's been over a month. We haven't done a podcast since before the start of Halloween, or before the start of October. But because of the holidays, it's just hard to get everybody scheduled at the same time. For instance, Val isn't
missed
here.
November.
Yeah, Val isn't here. Obs isn't here, but we got the blood of Obs in the channel, so his essence is still present.
Hello. That's me.
Yeah. Anyways,
Heir to the Messiah.
Yeah.
so which one are we gonna talk about first this time?
Well, before we get started,
Pump the
No,
brakes.
I am fucking eager to jump right into
Pump
it.
the brakes. Let's fucking tell people what we're talking about first.
All right.
They don't even know. They're like, what? A book? You guys read books now?
Yeah, we do read books. Fuck yeah, all the books.
Actually, I did buy a book recently, Quentin Tarantino book. I just started it, though. I haven't really gotten into it. It's about him reading that.
Well, I was just going to say, before we get into any topic,
I was talking about the book.
Don't
It was a
forget to
book about
like,
him
share,
watching movies and what
subscribe.
shaped him.
We recently hit 250 subs, so thank you for that. And we actually recently hit 260. We're at 263.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we appreciate it. Help us keep that momentum going. Help us keep growing. Like, share, and sub, and we'll love you for it. But I'll turn the floor back over to you and your book.
I'll like you for it. No, I already said it. Anyway, trailers dropped, a bunch of them, for things that we're interested in.
We're gonna talk
Ring,
about
which ones you're most interested in?
Transformers.
Okay. And also the pipeline is Old Man and a animated plumber. But first, Transformers.
So, first off, I'm gonna say real quick that most everybody here. Well, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I grew up with Beast Wars.
I did as well.
Yes, and Beast Wars, just some background here, was the first Transformer material that had a solid canon, where there was actually consistency of the story, because the original G1 Transformers had no consistency whatsoever. If anyone said it did, they're fucking lying. But anyways, I remember the series. I remember watching all the great Transformers of that particular series, all the way up to the series end, before Beast Machines, came into effect. And then of course Bayverse happened, which left a sour taste in many of our mouths. Because
I am one of them. So
yes,
I will say that I was completely turned off of the Transformers film series after Transformers 3. I saw Transformers 3 and I just it left, as Ring said, a bad taste in my mouth. Seeing Optimus Prime, the leader of the Decepticons, getting tied up in fucking power lines like some kind of goof. I mean, this is the most badass fucking Autobot in existence, and they had him. Huh?
You said Decepticons and kind of threw me off.
Oh, I'm sorry. Autobots. I meant to say Autobots. The most badass of the Autobots in existence, and they had him tied up like some kind of, goober in power lines needing help. And then they focused so much on fucking Shia LaBeouf and his relationships and his fucking, all these things in the mini-bots and finding a job. And I'm like, I don't give a shit about any of this. I want to, see Transformers fighting. I didn't watch the fourth one in the Michael Bay series, and because of that, I hate to admit, but I've never seen Bumblebee, which from what I understood was
I feel like no one here has seen it.
So I watched many clips of it, so I kind of sort of saw the film in a way.
This again, you did not see a film by just watching clips, okay?
I'm gonna buy the film because I want to see the whole thing, but I saw enough and I know the story to know what it is going on.
Okay.
So, anyways,
the cliff notes.
Yes. So here's the thing: when they started production on Bumblebee, there was a artistic decision to distance the franchise from the Babers. The Babers had done a lot of things that were very wrong or very inconsistent in general with the series as a whole. First off, Michael Bay had a very hardcore obsession with having Megan Fox in his films. That means you have a dumb... and I'm not insulting Megan Fox. I'm just saying this is the way it went down with casting and directorial ways, okay? But Michael Bay just wanted to have this hot, dumb broad, in the film.
I'm not insulting Megan Fox.
I'm not insulting Megan Fox.
I'm talking about the decision to have someone, who wasn't that great of a character.
I get you.
That's what I'm saying. So, just to clarify. On top of that, Michael Bay likes fucking explosions.
Oh, does he now?
Fucking ridiculous amounts of explosions. This was very disorienting throughout the entire series that I watched. Because I watched all the films except for Bumblebee. And it was just a very consistent thing. Also, the stupid as fuck, ridiculous as shit camera angles. You never saw the action. You just saw random shit, and the camera's going all over the fucking place. But you couldn't make heads or tails of what was going on.
Yeah, let's just show as many cuts as you can from as many angles, and the audience will be, as CinemaSins put it, guns, explosions, excitement.
Right, and let's face it, Transformers is not the brightest material out there. It never was. If you think that it was the greatest material out there because it came from the 80s or 90s, you're fucking lying to yourself. Because it is basically a big dumb fucking robots fighting, okay? But when you take into consideration that many people watched Beast Wars, which did make an attempt at making the whole series as a whole more intelligent, right? Because of the cause and effect and things that happen does have an effect later in the show. Versus G1, which is, everything's alright, we beat the bad guys, and everything just resets to the next episode.
So,
we got coddled with Beast Wars and Beast Machines. We did. There's no lie. There's no getting around it. We did. But Michael Bay has this tendency of doing big dumb fucking explosions around a big dumb fucking script that makes zero sense whatsoever, as long as it gets the big explosions across, on screen, along with a hot, attractive, chick of some sort. It's in almost every fucking film.
So let's talk about the actual trailer for Beast Wars that dropped. It does.
It's not Beast Wars. It's Rise of the Machine.
Rise of the Machine. Yeah, whatever they're calling it. It's Beast Wars. I mean,
it is not Beast Wars. Beast Wars does not have Autobots in it.
I know, but what I mean is, what I'm getting at is, it's essentially the cinematic transition from Beast Wars, the CGI animated series, into the silver screen. Let's be real. But anyway, I was able to. Obviously, it looks like we have the Predacons and the Maximals.
Wait. Let's cover the trailer in canonic order from beginning to end. Let's just do it that way. It makes it easier. First thing we see, of course, was a quick cut of Mirage in the cutaway of the trailer.
Is that Mirage? The Porsche? That's Mirage. I was under the impression it was Jazz. I thought maybe it was Jazz.
It's Mirage.
Okay, I saw RC.
Yeah, RC or Arky, which way you want to pronounce it.
I've always pronounced RC.
Is now hold on canonically. So then we have big badass Optimus Primal appear, right?
Who meets Optimus Prime?
That is awesome. No, Optimus Primal.
Who meets Optimus Prime? Like Optimus Prime comes out.
Okay, yeah, you're right. And it's amazing because they did a great job on Primal. Like the artwork they did, because we're used to seeing the Babers shit where everything's like metal and like it's just like we're gonna make it as weird as fuck and alien as hell, right? Without any resemblance to its actual source material. But Primal was fucking badass. I'm just gonna say it right now. Primal was badass.
Yeah, I like this look. I like the G1 representation of the Autobots, including RC, including Optimus Prime. I think they look really cool as almost a direct transition from 2D on the animated series to 3D in the film. I think they did a great job. And yeah, I as far as the Michael Bay movies go, I actually loved the 2007 Transformers. I thought it was great. When the next one, Dark of the Moon, came out, I was kind of like, this is kind of taking a turn that I don't like, but I'm still on board. And then 3 kind of just, they got all weird and alien looking and not even resembling, anything from the cartoon.
And even the Predacons, or not the Predacons, but the
Decepticons?
Decepticons were like just dumb and
just fucking twisted metal and making stupid jokes and just being dumb in general. I mean, and that's why
No, I will say that some of the supporting Decepticons in, I think it was the last film for the Babers, the one where the Teen Arthur and all that shit happened.
The Last Night.
The Last Night, I think it was. That was fucking genius. I love some of the Decepticons, especially that one that was in prison, and of course, Megatron, gets him out, and it was either the Last Night or the one right before that. But that was funny as hell because he's like, "Yeah, I know where your wife lives, man." He's talking to like one of the prison guards, like the prison guard like flips him off and stuff like that. It was fucking funny as hell. I'm like, dude, this is awesome. So they got a few things right in those 2 last films. They got a few things right.
So I want to ask you about this. So in the movie, Optimus Primal tells Optimus Prime that something is coming. He says something along the lines of, "It's like nothing you've ever faced before." And then we see kind of like a scene of some kind of oncoming horde or ships and shit on the horizon. What is that?
Let's rewind a bit because that's the end of the trailer. So the trailer goes on where it shows I believe it was Cheetor and Bumblebee, and Cheetor was fucking beautiful. Okay, Cheetor.
Yes.
He's comparatively he's the young one of the group.
The hot shot.
Yeah, kind of like Hot Rod or even Bumblebee to an extent. Like he's like, I'm a badass. I'm inexperienced though. I'm a badass, even though they appear to be millions of years old. But you get the idea.
Mm-hmm.
And that was amazing. Then of course it shows Wheeljack and RC.
And I also saw Rhinox was in there. Yes,
Rhinox. We'll get to that. RC looks fucking amazing. I think we got cheated on RC during the Bayverse films. She got so little playtime.
She was in the second one, and it was like, she got killed, I think, at the end, and she was in it for all of about 5 minutes at the beginning, and then she didn't make her appearance again until the end in that big scene in Egypt or wherever they're at in the pyramids.
Yeah,
and I think she gets killed at that point.
Yeah, that was late.
It was dumb.
Then you had Mirage. Fuck yeah, Mirage. A lot of people were expecting Mirage for the greatest amount of time, just didn't know when he was ever going to come up. But he's there. He is, that is Mirage.
Yeah, I thought it was Jazz. I think Jazz was a Porsche in the very first one as well, so that's why I thought it was Jazz.
I want to say he was actually a Chrysler or a Mercedes or something like that. I'll go look later. Then they have, of course, Air Razor, which was definitely from Beast Wars, as you remember. Firing a laser beam at the roadway, I guess, to cut off some Terracons, I guess.
And then I think they're Predacons.
No, they're Terracons in the movie.
Oh.
Yeah. Then it cuts to, of course, the big end of the trailer of the showdown, and stuff like that. And of course, Rhinox appeared beforehand, which Rhinox looked fucking great too. I don't recall who was going to voice Rhinox or any of them. They did not announce who is going to voice Cheetor. That's still not on the Wikipedia, so I'm really curious on who they used as the voice lines for Cheetor. I assume that they used like a youngish voice because that's just what Cheetor is, right?
That's what he sounded like, brash but inexperienced.
Right. I am saddened by the fact that it appears that Rat Trap would not be in the film. Of course, half the time he'll just be a smartass, much like Crosshairs was in Babers films. Which, by the way, I did love Crosshairs. And then, of course, the big end up battle where you see Primal use the dual blades like he does, because that's what he does, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, it turns into basically like a staff with, like, not a staff, but, you know, like a war glaive or something. And that shit was awesome. Now, just to touch something real quick about this particular subject. The Baber stopped with The Last Night. Bumblebee is actually the reason why this film is even being made to begin with. Bumblebee had sort of very big artistic decision difference instead. Bumblebee actually uses G1 reference material. If you ever go on YouTube, for example, and look at the Cybertronian battle at the start of the film, it's all G1, dude. Like, you swear to God, you're watching 80s Transformers.
That's what I said, that I like their look. I like their design. I like that it's borrowed specifically from the original Transformers G1 cartoon and translated to the film.
But notice, there has been no reference so far to Galvatron or Megatron for that. So we're already into the second film, which is the official sequel to Bumblebee, right? And there's still no Galvatron or Megatron.
In the Beast Wars series, wasn't the leader of the Predacons? Didn't he take the name of Megatron? Like he was named Megatron. He wasn't the original Megatron, but he took the name of Megatron, right?
Right.
I wonder if we'll see that version of a Megatron.
So when I remember, what I remember correctly is that I'm just getting tongue-tied here. I'm sorry. So there's no Megatron reference whatsoever, and there's no casting for Megatron either in the Rise of the Beast. In other words, Megatron is not going to appear yet.
Well, it is just the first trailer. I mean, I remember for the Spider-Man, what was it? No,
I'm looking at the casting. There's nothing for Megatron.
Well, remember with the Spider-Man, was it No Way Home, the latest one that came out? I don't think they put Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield on like the casting list until like.
That's also because it's Marvel and they want to be a big secret.
Well, how do we know? Why do we know that that's not what?
Because literally, the company is not interested in that. They have the full listing already available, except for Cheetor. He's the only one who's not listed as having a voice credit yet.
Well, if we saw Cheetor in the trailer, but he's not listed yet, then how can you be so sure that we're not? I'm just saying that we don't know.
Because he's the big bad guy, and even Primal says something worse is coming. They haven't had Megatron yet. That only leads to believe that either it's Unicron or Megatron who's going to show up in the third film. And there's no Decepticons in this film.
Well, all I'm saying is, I mean, it's still early. Nick, I feel like we've been talking over you.
I haven't tried to say a word because I've
kind of
watched Beast Wars.
Oh, you never watched the series?
No.
Oh, it's great.
I heard it was, but yeah.
Any thoughts on the trailer?
I like Big Monkey. I was like, that big monkey looked pretty fucking cool.
Robo Monkey.
But,
shit. Hey, guess
that,
what?
No, that's pretty cool.
Dude.
Yeah, talk over me.
I'm sorry. S.
The
voice actor for Rhinox is the same actor from the series.
That's awesome, dude. That's pretty cool.
Sorry, I'm sorry to cut you off. I just had to say it real quick. I just saw it right now.
Same actor.
Cool. That's neat. That is pretty neat. Is Optimus the same actor?
Yes, Peter Cullen.
Oh, good. Thank God.
Did you know, by the way, quick off-topic thing, me and Obbs actually found this out recently. Did you know that Peter Cullen is the original voice of the Predator from the 87 Predator film, the Arnold one? He's the one that makes the...
Oh, really?
Say the original Predator film.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't know that either, but me and Obbs kind of found that out by accident. One time I visited him, and we were just kind of like... I think we were watching Prey, and we just kind of went down the rabbit hole of like, I wonder who made the original noise for like the Predator, and we looked it up, and I was like, holy shit, it was Peter Cullen. Optimus Prime himself voiced the Predator.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Anyway, I think because we have 3 trailers to cover, so I think we can move on. But I will say my closing thoughts on this one is it made me kind of renew hope for the Transformers films. It made me want to actually go back and watch Bumblebee, because I too had not seen Bumblebee, because honestly the Bay films just completely soured me on Transformers. I felt like they did such a garbage job to them, and they were just kind of appealing to the lowest common denominator and just trying to, like Ring said, nothing but explosions and, sex and, big boobs and big butts and all that.
Big camera angles.
And it was like, I'm done with this shit. But this has kind of renewed my interest in Transformers, so I probably will go back and watch Bumblebee, and in all likelihood see this when it comes out. Ring, your closing thoughts on this trailer?
Of course, there was original a reasonable amount of doubt before they saw the trailer, but seeing how the artistic style has been taken, as well as taken into the fact that Bumblebee was actually a good fucking film in general, I have very decent hopes for this one.
Same. So one that I'm hopeful for, but at the same time cautiously optimistic, I want to talk about the new Indiana Jones film trailer next, and I actually have quite a bit to say about this one, and we'll leave the Mario Brothers trailer for last, because I think kind of a best for last mentality. But so real quick, the new Indiana Jones trailer came out, and the trailer itself looks good. It looks really good. But there is a theory that I had read about a year ago on Reddit, when people first started finding out that a new Indiana Jones film was coming. And it was rumored that the plot was going to surround Indiana Jones finding some sort of time machine or time travel device, and he would actually go back to the past, meet up with his younger self, and essentially have to commit some sort of heroic sacrifice, which would erase him from the timeline, and the mantle of Indiana Jones would be taken up by another younger character that would then be translated into a Disney Plus series.
Is this like an intense amount of fan fiction?
Sounds horrible.
It's a theory.
It does, right? It sounds fucking terrible.
It does,
yeah.
And that's what I'm scared that they're gonna do, because if you watch the trailer closely, there is an awful lot of CGI reverse aged Harrison Ford in it, and there's a lot of Nazis, which by this movie's time period, so Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls took place in the 60s, and what was it, the Red Scare, Comrade, the Russians, the communists and all that. That was the big enemy then. By this point, I think we'd be probably right around the midst of maybe the Vietnam War. So I think the enemy, at hand, so to speak, if we follow along the time periods, would be the Viet Cong. But we didn't see really any of that. We saw a lot of Nazi content, which, and even the name, the Dial of Destiny, is kind of like turning back the dial of time. Now, granted, all this de-aged Harrison Ford could be just flashbacks of his younger days, maybe 2 stories running simultaneously, kind of flashes back to the past.
I have the general premise of the film as it stands right now.
What is it?
In 1969, American archaeologist and inventor Indiana Jones is the backdrop of space race. Jones is uneasy with the fact that the U.S. government is recruited former enemies to help beat the Soviet Union in competition to make it in space, which, by the way, actually happened. His goddaughter, Helena, accompanies on a journey. Meanwhile, Bowler, a NASA member and ex-Nazi thus involved with the moon landing program, wishes to make the world a better place as he sees fit. There's no time travel.
So far.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can take that at face value.
Yeah, because
I do hope there's
this
no time
appears to be
travel.
post-war shit. Look, the de-aging was done because Harrison Ford is old as shit.
Yeah,
they did not want to do that. They did not want to do the same as Crystal Skull, which, by the way, was a fucking terrible film to begin with. Okay. And yes, that was Lucas's fault. Lucas was the director for that, or no, Spielberg was director, but Lucas was producer.
Why are you doing this to Indy? Stop
I don't know,
it.
man.
Won't someone stop it?
I saw him get raped.
But
that's Southwark episode.
they do have a list of the cast members so far, and it appears to be pretty consistent with Cold War era. And more than likely, the Nazis you're seeing are probably like, "Ha! We can now go and go be masked off and all that," and like, "Ha ha ha ha! We're here to take over the world." Just to make
fucking like Hydra,
something like that. Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping that I'm wrong, and I'm hoping that this theory is wrong. But just the amount of flashbacks that occur.
Are you sure it's even flashbacks though? It could be like a hidden Nazi cadre within certain elements of the U.S. government or something like that.
Well, again, we don't know what it is, but I mean, the trailer itself looks really cool. I loved, first of all, the opening, seeing Sala again. I'm happy to see that guy alive and well, and he looks like he's doing well. Last time we saw him was fucking The Last Crusade.
Yeah.
I mean, in Last
remember
Crusade,
this movie occurs in 1969, so it's not a leap to think that he's still alive.
Dude,
in the canon of the show.
I'm talking about the actors. Yeah, I'm talking about the actors.
But in terms of the film, in terms of the, in the canon though, it made sense that he's still kicking.
Yeah.
I think they de-aged him as well because he's 78, and in the trailer so far, it looks like he's in his upper 50s.
Yeah, well, regardless, it was a treat to see him again. That made me happy. I had a big smile on my face when I heard the opening, saying how he misses the desert, misses the sea. I was like, is that Sala? And then as soon as I saw him, I had a big grin on my face, just because, I mean, Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade are just, chef's kiss masterpieces. I mean, they are film perfection. Those two movies, nothing can be done to improve them. Any touching them would devalue them because they are absolute perfection. The Temple of Doom, great, fun flick. There's a few things that are weird, that are off, but otherwise it's still a great movie. But the first and the third film are absolute masterpieces. Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls, I kind of forced myself to watch it because I am a huge Indiana Jones fan. I love the music, I love the look, I love everything about Indiana Jones. Harrison Ford's one of my all-time favorite actors. And when I saw Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls, fucking Shia LaBeouf Tarzaning across the fucking trees, them driving a goddamn Jeep onto a tree to get it into a river, fucking aliens, I was like, what are they doing? What the fuck am I watching? It's okay. It's an Indiana Jones movie. I love it. Yes, I love it. I don't care how stupid it is. I love it. That was literally my reaction because, yeah, they kind of really dropped the fucking ball with that one. I'm hoping that this new one is good. I really am. I have high hopes for it, but at the same time, I'm gonna go in there with a clenched sphincter because I'm like, I don't know what the hell they're gonna do.
Crystal Skull.
What about?
It was a bad film. I don't let the nostalgia goggles.
Yeah, I know. It really was. But I tried to force myself to like it. You know what I mean?
But if you're forcing yourself, then it really wasn't likable to begin with. It should be just if it was to be likable, it will be likable on its own without forcing.
Yeah, it was a bad movie. That raises an interesting question, though. We didn't see Marion at all in this film. He married her at the end of the last one. So, are we to assume that relationship is over? It's not going to be brought up. What of their relationship? What of?
The only other main roles there are in the film that was not apparently shown was as casted by Antonio Banderas, Thomas Kretschmann, Olivier Richards, and Ethan Isidore in undisclosed roles. But I don't think that checks in this film.
Well, my thoughts on that one is I'm worried. I'm worried for what's going to happen. The trailer itself looks very good. Looks like there's a lot of classic Indiana Jones-esque action. Looks like there's going to be some Nazi fighting, which, let's admit it, that's what Indy does best. I'm very hopeful that it'll be a good movie. I understand it has some competent people behind it, good directors, good writers. So I'm hopeful for a good movie, but I'm just worried that they're going to do what so many other films have suffered. But Nick, Ring, y'all's final thoughts on that one?
What about Jess?
The music, by the way, for the film will be scored by John Williams. However, John Williams did say this will be his final film.
A good film to go out on, I think. Very iconic.
Yeah. But I have similar
Yeah, it's iconic
reservations in regards to the Indiana Jones movies from just what I saw about the trailer. It looks like a really good movie, but I have similar reservations. I loved the original Indy films very, very much, and then Crystal Skull left a very bad taste in my mouth. So I'm heading into this one with very much a lot of trepidation, but I'm still excited for it nonetheless. What I did see seemed really, really interesting and very fascinating. And watching, just backtracking a little bit because I wasn't part of that conversation. But as far as the new Transformer movie is concerned, I do want to. It actually made me want to go back and watch Bumblebee, so I think I will be doing that at some point. And before I watch the new Transformer movie, because it does look good.
Well said.
Shall we touch upon the final piece de la resistance for this episode?
If we're done with those two trailers, then yeah. Nick,
All right.
you're the Nintendo person. Why don't you lead this conversation?
I don't know how I became a Nintendo person, but fuck it.
You're
I'm a
the
Nintendo person. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, you're not. You're a PC person.
Yeah, you're PC.
You've made your choice.
I've become.
I'm the one who's more from a Nintendo things than anybody else,
made
including
your
you.
choice. Da 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 da. There's a Mario movie. That's not live action, thank God.
So let's
And it
touch
looks
on the
pretty
original.
fucking good.
So let's touch on that real quick. So
God damn it,
God.
Ring,
Oh, let's not touch. Like fuck, man. Every time.
Give him a
I was
chance.
grabbing the steering wheel out of your
real
hand.
quick. The
Before you even
thing
say
that
anything.
people think about first when it comes to Mario movies. Let's first acknowledge that the original live action film is one of those things where it was just like either you loved it or hate it. It's a classic. Okay.
It's
Obviously,
a
the original
victim of
Mario
its own
film.
title.
Yeah, it's a lot of people say it's so bad it's good, but honestly, I was okay because that was just an interpretation of what is Mario, and it didn't even have Peach to begin with. It had Princess Daisy, who was the princess of.
Look.
wrestling.
I actually do want to touch on the original Mario Brothers movie, but I want to have Nick. Me and you have led the conversations thus far. Let Nick have a say.
All right.
Well, great, you scared him off.
Are we good? No, sorry. I didn't know. I was playing Red Dead. Anywho, Mario,
Yes.
animated by people who made the Minions. That sounds terrible, but it looks fucking great, actually.
It does.
Did you see Donkey Kong? Did you see him
Yes.
slap Mario?
Yes.
They are,
It's fantastic.
they
Did
are,
you see Mario Karts?
dude.
Yes.
They are incorporating so many Mario games into this film. Yes,
It
I
looks
saw Smash
it looks
Brother,
great. Yes, there's the fight. There's the
the platform.
they made the Mario platforming in his training. There's the carts.
Mario
she mentions
Galaxy.
there's galaxies. Yes, yeah. It looks like it's gonna be a fucking good time.
It looks fun as fuck.
I hope Seth Rogen never says a word. He just laughs as Donkey Kong with a stupid laugh. Yeah, it would be perfect if he never talks and just laughs. Also, Jack Black is a wonderful Bowser.
Yes, he is killing it. Everything
Like,
he's in. I
he's
love
not
it.
just like, I'm Jack Black, here's my voice. It's like, no, I'm gonna do a thing.
He
Here's my thing.
sounds sinister.
Yeah, that's
They-
fucking cool.
Yeah, they're making him. I expected him to kind of roll out with kind of like the Kung Fu Panda type
Yeah,
voice.
nah, he went full on
But-
Sinister Bowser, which is fun. It was
I'm
great.
about to rule the world.
Chris Pratt is not great as Mario, but you know what?
He's-
It's fine. It's whatever. I don't care.
Chris Pratt is
So-
honestly. Go ahead.
Can I interject real quick since
Here we go.
y'all are kind of running away?
Go
with this?
ahead. I just
Oh
said
my
go
god,
ahead.
we're running away. Okay,
Yeah.
go.
Just said go
Go for
ahead. Jesus.
So, first, I want to say that I'm enjoying Jack Black's voice so far as Bowser. I'm in full agreement. And I honestly was not expecting the Kung Fu Panda voice. That's moronic to say the least for to have that sort of expectation. Because Jack Black does have a certain range of voice when he's doing certain roles, and obviously, Kung Fu Panda was a very good practice run for him to engage in other voiceover roles, which now, of course, he's engaged in as Bowser. And we all saw the teaser trailer like a month or two ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kicked it out of the fucking park. Done. I was convinced that is fucking Bowser. Okay. We got to hear more Charlie Day as Luigi. Honestly, hits the ball out of the park. Fantastic voice acting so far from him, and it does match the energy that Luigi does have. There are, of course, people are going to have a bone to pick with Mario, Chris Pratt, but Chris Pratt's going for that Brooklyn, New Yorker voice, which honestly, Bob Hoskins was, in a way, the original movie Mario as a whole. So, if we're thinking in that respect, then it's fine. It's not the greatest, but it passes. You know, I can ignore that. And I know we haven't talked about this yet, but holy shit, Peach sounds fucking amazing. Okay.
Yeah, she sounds good.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I think she. I think that all the voice actors are fine. I don't even have a problem. I know a lot of people have a problem with Chris Pratt. I don't have a problem with Chris Pratt voicing Mario. The problem I have is it doesn't really sound to me like he's giving it his all. He sounds like he's kind of, I don't want to say phoning in a performance, because I do think he's trying, but I think he could do better. I did like that little wahoo that he gave at the end of the trailer. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I in other words, I don't think he's really investing himself in the role. He's playing Chris Pratt voicing Mario rather than voicing Mario. Like, and I don't know how to say. He's basically just being Chris Pratt as Mario rather than trying to be Mario. But I don't think it's terrible. It's a slight critique that I'd have of it at best. Other than that, I have really enjoyed the voice of Peach. I think sounds great.
Her attitude in general, just in the trailer, was fucking awesome too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something as a woman I would like to say. I have to admit, just basing it off the games that I have played that have involved Mario and Peach, she's always had this damsel in distress type of thing. So I really appreciate the fact that they're not going that route with her for this movie. She kind of seems like a badass, and I'm here for that energy.
She hasn't been a damsel in distress since like the original Mario Brothers game.
Yeah,
I mean,
she in Mario 2, she was a playable character.
She was a damsel in the beginning, but like, yeah, she gets her due. Well,
and
yeah, but she hasn't been a consistent and damsel in distress except for Mario 64. You know, and then,
but it's still good that they didn't go that route.
Yeah,
right. Because now they're now going down the Mario's 3D road.
Can we just acknowledge that she is not a fucking natural blonde? She's a redhead, and she will always be a redhead. And she dyes her fucking hair, or she bleaches. You know, that's fact. That's canon.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
She was originally a redhead. I'm serious.
That was Daisy.
No, dude, it was Princess Peach.
Daisy's a brunette.
Yeah, Daisy's a brunette. Peach was a redhead. She was a redhead in the original games, and she was a redhead in the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. You remember
Probably
that? Right. She was a redhead.
But they retconned it to blonde.
No, she dies. Okay. No, that dies. Like, she doesn't die.
Now you just make a fucking fan
place her
head.
blonde.
Don't do that shit with me. It doesn't fly.
No. Okay, she's a redhead.
All right, we're getting fucking lost in the weeds here. This movie looks great.
Yeah.
It does.
Well, before we depart quickly.
Yes, let's go back into the weeds. I'm sorry, Ring.
Yes, we are. We're going back to the weeds. Let's go with the things that we saw in the trailer. We talked about the casting and the audio but let's talk about what we saw first off. Okay. Of course, we saw Donkey Kong, which so far we haven't heard Joe Rogan's voice.
Joe Rogan.
No, I'm correcting myself. What's his name? Seth Rogen. Sorry, I've been on political circles lately. Ignore what I'm saying, okay?
Just asking if you want to smoke DMT.
But Seth Rogen will be fucking great. I can tell already because he has that voice that seems to line up largely with Donkey Kong.
Very guttural.
All right. If you look closely in the arena section of the trailer, you can see Diddy Kong and what's the girl name? Not Tiny Kong.
Fuck, I know who you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. She's in the Super Nintendo games. Yes. She's there along with Yankee Kong. 90 Kong, I mean, or not 90. Swanky Kong. It progresses. You see the fire flowers, right? Which is awesome because even Peach, kind of makes a fireball right then and there. There's a reference to galaxies. Okay. like our world is, or our universe is made, or our reality is made of different galaxies. That implies that we may see Rosalinda in the future.
I'm sure we will. I mean, dude, this is gonna make so much money. I mean, there's
Well, I'm not done yet. Here's the cool part. And I thought, now me personally, I thought this was cool. There was that map of what was in her particular world in reality, and you can see a desert island. Princess Daisy rules Sarasaland, which is also a desert land that has pyramids. That is Daisy's kingdom, I bet.
Yeah, we gotta get Luigi's love interest in there.
Right. We see Yoshi's, we see Babons, we see the usual, the Koopas, and all that. We even see the fucking what's the fishies,
The fucking Cheep Cheeps.
Cheep, yeah. One Cheep lodges onto Mario's head, and you see Peach there along with Toad trying to yank it off. So that that led to it more.
Was it just me, or was there a split second where I saw like a backpack on Luigi's back at some point that looked kind of like his...
Yes, that's the plumber's kit.
Oh, I thought it was his vacuum from Luigi's Mansion.
No, it was the plumber's kit. I think that's the very from what I can deduce. That's from the very first part where they enter the world. Because remember, at a certain part, it shows them in a city where they're plumbers. When Bowser was interrogating Luigi, and it cuts to them being in a city being plumbers, which that probably is New York.
Yeah. Well, I know it's not exactly canon, but the Super Mario Brothers Super Show has them working on some pipes, and they get sucked into the pipe and end up in the Mushroom Kingdom. So
right, and they're in a
in the latest Mario game. It's called New Donk City. Anyway,
New Donk City.
That is canon. Yes, that's New Donk City is the place where the first Donkey Kong game occurs. And
you didn't know that, Ring. Shut up.
No, that's true. And the girl who's there at New Donk City is actually the girl he rescued from Donkey Kong. Yeah.
You didn't even know her name.
I knew it. I'm just not recall off the top of my head.
Mister, I'm the Nintendo guy.
Shut up. Moving on.
I wonder if Pauline is in here.
And then motherfucker. So we move, and then we see the trailer move on, and we see, of course, Mario training using level stage of sorts. Which, by the way, I am enjoying the side scroller effect of what they're doing, because everything's on narrow paths and stuff like that, and it's a very clever way of committing to that. And then of course we see Mario in a Tanuki suit, fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. I think it was Tanuki or the
it's the Tanuki.
Tanuki, okay, which is awesome because that's probably like a part of the, more than likely it's part of the was it the climax of the film?
Yeah, it's probably the end where he kind of realizes the power was in him all along or something, and he...
I like that, or the power of friendship or something.
Yeah, and he realizes his true power type thing.
Now, let's get to the end. And obviously, you see Mario come in with his cart onto the Rainbow Road of all fucking things. Rainbow fucking Road. Right?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but there was a fucking post I saw that kind of went viral.
I know what you're talking about already.
The one with...
Yeah. They were like, they're date up my Mario or whatever.
Yeah. And then people were like, it's fucking Rainbow Road. It
is, man. What the fuck?
It's not
Pride. It's just a fucking Rainbow Road made of rainbows.
I mean, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so you saw that. I was like, my God.
I saw that like 10 minutes after the trailer came out.
Fucking facepalm. But anyway, go.
So, then we see, of course, Peach in her by the way, you saw Peach earlier in the film, or in the trailer, with the motorcycle outfit with a fucking battle axe, basically. And then she appears, of course, at the other trailer with her motorcycle, which is pretty awesome. And, of course, Toad with the big-ass fucking monster car. And then all the Kongs. So, apparently, that some sort of alliance has formed.
This is going to be fucking Mad Max style, man. This fucking Fury Road in the Mario Brothers.
Yeah. There was a lot of cautious optimism with teaser trailer that kept us all off. And now seeing everything occur, all come together, we see more. We hear more of Mario's voice in general. Of course, we don't hear Seth Rogen, but it's okay. I'll deal with that. This leads me to be reasonably excited about the film.
My last thoughts on this movie is, it literally has made my dreams come true, because for years, to myself, I have been wondering why. I was always thinking Pixar, I was like, why doesn't Nintendo partner with somebody like Pixar and make a game faithful Mario Brothers adaptation, retain creative control over it so that Nintendo can, properly utilize their characters, but have somebody like Pixar with their animation chops, their quality animation and their ability to tell a story and to bring it to life. Those two companies working together to create something like that would be absolutely phenomenal. And
so okay, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it may not have been Pixar. Illumination, I liked the Despicable Me movies. Didn't really care for the Minions. I saw the first Secret Lights of Pets. It was alright, but I have faith that they can. It seems like they've kind of taken over DreamWorks' slot as Disney's or Pixar's primary competitor, because I don't see real shit from DreamWorks really anymore. But yes, it's everything that I thought it should be, and literally I couldn't be happier. I think the trailer looks phenomenal. I have nothing but the utmost faith in it, and I think it is going to break all kinds of box office records. I think it's going to just make so much goddamn money. And I'll turn it back to you and Nick for whatever.
I'll let that, and I'll tell you exactly the reason why they chose it.
What do you think, Jess?
As far as the Super Mario trailer was concerned,
Yeah.
I liked everything about it. I thought it was amazing. And I do agree. I haven't really seen any posts about Rainbow Road, and having those issues. But that's not what I thought when I saw. I didn't think any Pride or LGBTQIA stuff on it.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a meme or if that was someone actually thinking about it, but yeah, it was pretty
It
funny.
might have been a meme.
But my thought was on it. I kind of liked how they integrated a little bit of pretty much every single Mario related game in the movie. That's what I got from it, and that's what I really appreciated the most about the trailer, outside of the whole Peach thing. But it made me smile, and I'm excited for the movie. I'm really excited for it.
Can you
Nice.
imagine a post-credit scene?
Yeah,
Sonic shows up.
Lord.
no, probably not yet, but you never know. How about you, Nick? How did you feel about it?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. It looked great. It fucking feels great. I'm not the biggest fan of, honestly, Charlie Day. I don't know why. It just sounded like Charlie Day doing Charlie Day. And like, if people bring you shit for Chris Pratt, I think they should give shit to Charlie Day. But excuse me, I sneezed. But I still think it looks good. I think it's gonna be great. Bowser's still my favorite. I look forward to seeing him either fighting Mario or that. When that first fucking trailer dropped and he used his fucking fire breath on that ice castle,
So
and it went full on Godzilla. I was like, oh my god, that's sick. So hopefully he does a little bit more of that.
Oh
But,
man, that
yeah.
whole scene in the second trailer with him and Luigi, I was in love with that too. That was hilarious to me. I think
I'm
Jack
happy
Black's
that
doing a great job.
Oh yeah, they're gonna do some good stuff. I hope Luigi gets his little Ghostbusters shit. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
So, when you mentioned that, apparently, depending on the success of the film, they more than likely will do a Luigi's Mansion film, and also a Donkey Kong film. Will also depend on the success of the film, as Seth Rogen has already been approached about it.
Dude, this is cinematic universe starting material.
It is.
For sure.
But real quick though, I want to touch on one thing though, that because you wondered why didn't they choose Disney or anything like that, right?
I didn't really wonder. I was just saying that would have been my first choice, but I mean, whoever.
But you have to consider what you said specifically is the reason why. Creative control.
Mm-hmm.
Disney will want to maintain control because they will see it as their film. And since Nintendo loves to maintain control over their properties, especially as we've all another, that Disney will actually conflict with Nintendo on the subject.
Yeah, I can see that too. It's like two pit bulls going at each other. Lord knows that Disney and Nintendo are very, let's say, rigid, abrasive companies.
Yes, they are very, and that is more than part of the reason why they went with Illumination, because Illumination does not have that desire to maintain control because it's not their property.
Yeah,
They are in this case they are a medium to create said desired material. So they're acting as a middleman, saying, "Hey, we'll create it. We want a cut, of course, but we want overall creative control coming No, because it's your property. So if you want it to show up in some way, and we all remember the live action Mario film, so let's do it the right way.
Yes.
Now,
Go ahead.
that being said, of course, there has to be leeway with the casting decision. Of course, Nintendo had the final say, which may or may not have been allowed with Disney, but definitely is supposed to have with Illumination, since they're not as contract controlled in who they can have on the film. I mean, they're pretty open. I mean, hell, Jack Black was what DreamWorks with Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
But he's not under contract to work with some company, so he's free to go wherever he wants to. Same thing with Chris Pratt; they're freelancing, and that works fine for Illumination. They don't have to worry about that, about paying additional fees to hire somebody out from a specific company or contracting fee. Or you just have to pay the actor or actress themselves. Anyways,
So one last thing I do want to say about the casting. I've heard a lot of people saying that they wanted the voice of Mario to be done by the voice actor of Mario. William Martinet, is it?
I think so.
I can see that, but at the same time, if you actually stop and think about it from a creative perspective, it makes total sense that they didn't cast him. His voice and the way he voices Mario is done in small doses, and it's meant to be taken in small doses, like Yahoo! And here we go! And all that stuff.
Yeah.
Can you imagine an hour and a half, 90 minutes, or 2 hours, or however long it goes?
It would be fucking bliss.
Well,
It'd be annoying too.
I mean,
It would be distressing.
yeah, I think eventually people would find it grating. Maybe not everybody, but people who might be new to the Mario franchise would be like, man, this guy's voice is annoying or something.
The fuck is new to the Mario franchise?
That's like saying who breathes air.
I can tell you that, like, my aunt and uncle, for instance, I mean, they're aware
They
of,
call game consoles.
they're aware of Mario, but they don't
They call
know
game consoles Nintendos, don't they?
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are people. I mean, I'm sure that there are gonna be people that take their. Well, I mean, Mario's old enough that your grandparents could have played it conceivably, but you know what I mean. That they're gonna take their kids in to see it and stuff like that. And I mean, nothing but respect and nothing but praise for. I think it's William Martinet, but I can understand why they didn't choose to cast him, because again, his voice is great for those small doses. If you're trying to carry on a whole 2-hour conversation, Peach, I will save the special. I can't fucking sound like Mickey Mouse or something. I don't know, but
That's all I'm. No. You just said it right now. Mickey Mouse has that same stupid fucking voice, and it hasn't been a Mickey Mouse movie in forever. I'll give you that.
True.
But there's plenty of Mickey Mouse goddamn cartoons,
Yeah.
so I don't see why they couldn't do the same with Mario.
Now, that being said, Martinet will actually reprise or feature in several cameo voices throughout the film. Miyamoto, who actually has specified that he will be in the film, just not as Mario. So he will still get his due credit. He may be a different version of Mario.
So if he's
some
Wario,
nonsense
that'd be
like that.
sick.
Wow. That'd be interesting.
I have not heard anything about Wario being in the
There's the post-credit scene.
Yeah, post-credit scene, man.
I know that.
Oh man, I'm already seeing it. It's gonna cut to the Mario M, and like it's gonna be in black and white, and it's gonna like
Flip
turn
upside
upside
down, and it zooms out.
I know
And
there's
zooms
like one or two actors who people want to show up and as Waluigi, which is funny as hell, anyways. But just like my man Waluigi just can't dance to anything, just like he couldn't in Smash. That's not happening, man. Sorry.
But Smash the trophies.
That's not good enough for some people.
No, it's fine. That's good enough.
So, last real quick thing, because you mentioned it at the beginning of this conversation of the Mario trailer. I want to say something about, as a matter of fact, I've been thinking about doing a movie corner on the original live-action Mario Brothers movie.
We've discussed this already.
Shut up.
There's our trademark.
It is the odds and ends. Shut up.
I'm just fucking with you.
It's property of Odds and Ends Gaming.
What is this, 1984? Tell me shut up, jeez.
Anyway, I want to just make a quick mention. I am one of those that love the original Mario Brothers movie. I think it's humorous. I think it has plenty of grit. I think it has a fabulous scenery, I guess. Not what's the word for it? Like world building. Like I like that that almost post-apocalyptic, futuristic look of the cities and stuff. I like how they made those cars that, you know, shoot sparks and have those weird motors. I like the weaponry, you know, how they tried to represent like the fireballs by having like little flamethrowers that shoot fireballs. I mean, when you think about what the filmmakers had to work with, you had a little side-scrolling character that broke bricks with his head, grew off of consuming mushrooms, threw fireballs and stuff. I mean, they tried to incorporate all of that. They incorporated the fungus, you know, Mario, trust the fungus. They incorporated the fireballs. They incorporated the Shy Guys. They're the ones that are running the dump, you know, the trash compactors.
Hey.
What?
The bomb.
The bombs, yes. They even had the bullet bills, as those were the cartridges in the boots that made Mario jump high. So they had Mario jumping. I mean, I respect those filmmakers for trying to extrapolate such, you know, a concept that is perfect for a video game, trying to extrapolate that and translate it onto a movie. I really respect them, but I think that the Mario Brothers film was a victim of its own name. If you took all of the elements of that film, renamed the characters from Mario and Luigi to something completely different and Bowser to something completely different and gave the movie another title, I think it would be a hit cult classic. But because of the fact...
Didn't they have the Power Glove in it too?
Power Glove.
You know, the glove that you
I know what,
and stuff like that. Yeah. I thought that was in the film too.
the boots were the stompers, but I don't remember a glove. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen it, so you may be right.
I'll do that real quick just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure that that was in the film.
But anyway, I actually have a lot of fun when I watch that film. I can go back to it. Rest in peace, Bob Hoskins. I loved him as an actor. I thought he was great. But yes, I actually am a big fan of that film. I don't care what anybody says. I respect the filmmakers for doing what they did with what they had to work with. And I mean, it's like imagine trying to make a movie out of Pong. Like, seriously, how are you gonna fucking take Pong and make a movie out of that? It's a great game, super addictive, you know, a trailblazer in video gaming history. But to make it into a movie, same thing with Mario. Great game, you know, a trailblazer in video gaming history. But how the fuck are you gonna make a movie out of that? At least in that style. You know, I'm not talking about the new one.
Well, you also have to keep in mind that it was a very new age to have video games in film. I mean, you had like that one movie where they had kids playing a competitive style for playing Super Mario Bros. 3.
The Wizard,
yeah. And then you had Tron, which is technically a video game movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of hit or misses in the late 80s, early 90s.
But I still have nothing but respect and love for that film.
Right.
I mean, I also believe that as far as the Super Mario live action is concerned, I also believe it was a product of its time. I think the reason why a lot of these video game per se movies are coming out nowadays is because the animation, CGI, and just all the styles that we have now, I think it's caught up with being able to do those things properly.
Right.
I have nothing but love for the original live action Super Mario Brothers movie. But to me, it's similar to the original live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. It's just a product of its time. They didn't have the capacity to do the things that we can do now in movies and films. So
right.
That's my opinion on it.
100% agree. Well, we're just about to hit the hour mark, so I think this has been a pretty lively discussion. Talked about 3 trailers, even talked about the classic Mario Brothers movie a bit. Nick, you want to see us out, or should I? Are we done? Did you have anything else to add? Anybody? Anything to add?
That's pertinent.
Huh?
Nothing that is pertinent.
Nothing pertinent.
Nick, you want to see us out? You saw us in.
Yeah, I'll kick us out this bar. All right. Well, it's been a podcast. What did we do? We talked about movie trailers. And that seems about right. You know, back to our roots.
Are you sure you want to do this? I shoot the shit. This feels like a movie corner.
No,
this is not a movie. Have you watched a movie corner?
What the fuck?
Oh,
we didn't discuss a movie. We discuced trailers. We haven't seen them.
Yeah, but we also discussed movies
too.
Is
what we do in the podcast.
Yeah, but we also discussed movies too.
Exactly. That's why we made a movie corner.
It's not.
Technically, this is a movie corner.
This is not a movie corner.
It's not a movie corner.
Why not?
Well, as stated in below, movie corners are licensed through Odds and Ends Gaming, but are actually JMC's productions.
What?
Right.
Yes.
What the hell is JMC?
I think it was GGC.
Jesus.
GGP?
Jesus,
One of those
right?
things. Anywho, it's not a movie trailer. This was Shoot the Shit Saturday, joined by Espionage DB7.
That's the one, the only highly rated, armor-plated, imitated, but never ever duplicated Espionage DB7.
I'll let you have that one because it's been a while. Ringleader,
Yahoo!
Jess,
It's been fun, guys.
and me, Nickolas Zombie. Hope you had a good one. Hope you enjoyed. Keep liking, subscribing, tell your friends. Hey, it's been a fun time. And hopefully, you'll get one in another 2 weeks. Is that fair?
Maybe.
I think 2 weeks is fair.
Yeah, I
we'll do
think it's good. We're gonna probably try to do the shoot the shits every 2 weeks, rather than try to shoot for shooting them every week and struggle for content. We're gonna try to have a little bit more smarter, intelligent, refined
I think-
conversations.
Yeah. Is that what we had?
I think it was. I think we did have actually
Okay.
a good, intelligent conversation,
Oh.
don't you?
All right. Okay.
It's
All
new
right.
here. It's new around
Fun
here.
time. It's been a
Let's
fun time. Let's go.